you damaged my vehicle. Let me get your information. We're gonna document this, and you're gonna take care of the damages. He says to me, he should have left my black ass on the side of the road. I was like, motherfucker, what? All right, it is dark. You want to know what that is in the back, that floating thing? That is a spare tire, okay? I'm going to tell you about the time, the story time. Last year, I drove across country to Jacksonville, Florida, and I drove back to Washington State. And I got a flat tire as I was in Wyoming. And we're gonna do this as I'm driving to where I'm going. This is a good story time. I'm gonna tell you in this story why I carry a spare tire. But this is a whole tire, not a spare. Tire with a rim. Because I drive a hybrid, and this hybrid vehicle does not have a spare tire. It has an inflation kit. So here I go, I'm thinking, brand new car, and I should be good to about 20,000 miles. No. I was right around the area of Rock Springs or Falls Rock, Wyoming. When my car was perfectly fine. I was like, let me just stop, and use the bathroom and stretch, because I had been on the road for a long time. I didn't want to go back through Wyoming because I had a bad experience when I was at the Red Lion Inn Hotel when I was, going to the East Coast. Well, I get a flat tire, and I'm like, okay, I have roadside coverage through Ford. I have a brand new vehicle, and also through State Farm. That's who my insurance was through. So I called for roadside service. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. It's the boonies. The pictures I put right here, that's what it looked like as I'm out there all by myself. And the flat tire happened when I left this gas station where it wasn't paved. I didn't realize it. This is when I was like actually there. It wasn't paved. It was like just loose rocks all over. So I believe that's what caused the damage to my tire. And as I'm leaving the gas station, I noticed that the tire, the check tire light was on, the low pressure. I'm like, well, damn, okay, I guess it's hot out here, whatever. So I roll over, I put some air in the tire. It looked cool. I get back, the light is still on. So I'm thinking, well, maybe when I cut the vehicle off, the light would go off, because I filled it up to the proper PSI. I even went in there and bought a tire gauge, and I filled it up to where it's supposed to be. I get back onto the highway. I didn't even get 1 mile when I hear the I'm like, god damn. So here I go, pull over to the side of the road, and it's nothing out there. It's just like the Grand Canyon mountains. It's nothing. And so I'm just out there. I'm like, okay, luckily I had a cell phone signal. Shout out to my cell phone carrier. I call roadside service. This is where I'm at, because one thing I try to do when I'm driving is I remember the last mile marker or the exit, so I know just about where I'm at. They couldn't find a tow truck driver. Like, they had to like hunt for one, because it was also, I think that was the 4th of July. And finally, tow truck driver came out. I will put his business card right here so you know who exactly the hell he was. So he comes out complaining like, yeah, the drive all the way from out here, and it was a special job. I'm like, okay, whatever. Load up my damn vehicle and then drop me off at my hotel. So I just said, I'll have them tow me to my hotel, and I'll figure out getting a tire the next day, either at the dealership or at Walmart. And luckily, it was a Walmart right down the street. I initially was trying to get to Salt Lake City. That's what I was trying to get to, but the flat tire happened. So it was like pitch black dark out there. Like, I haven't seen nighttime that dark since I was in the Navy and I was out to sea. So he's loading my car. He just tells me for safety have a seat in the tow truck. I'm like, cool. And so as he's loading my vehicle up, now I've watched tons of vehicles get loaded onto a flatbed. I was a police officer, I investigated accidents, when I made an arrest, had to get vehicles towed, and you had to, watch and do an inventory, and I usually stayed until the car drove off. The tow truck drove off with the car. So I'm sitting in the tow truck, and I'm hearing like this weird scraping noise, like, it was kind of weird. I'm like, I didn't really think too much of it. And plus, like, the road is quiet. It's like dead silence, except for like a couple of tractor trailers every now and then. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. So he hops in the truck. We kind of like have small talk, but I'm like, I'm in a car with a stranger. Like, okay, I just want to be by myself right now. We get to my hotel, and I had to go and get assigned a room. So he came in the hotel with me. I think I went to like the Best Western, and it really was Western, like Western. I'm like, okay. So then when we find out which room I'm getting, I had requested a floor room because all of my stuff was going to be in the vehicle, and it was a disabled vehicle. As he's unloading my car, he said, you know, you can stay here in the car. I mean, in the tow truck. I'm like, okay. But then a minute, I'm like, no, I need to watch my vehicle coming off. I'm like, I've been sitting down since I left Kansas. I'm getting out the vehicle and just watch. So I get out to watch. I see why he said stay in the vehicle. My hybrid, my car is kind of low to the ground. And it's not, you know, aftermarket. That's just how it is. And it's like scraping as he's lowering it off the flatbed. My whole front end is scraping down, like where the little ball to the hook was, like my bumper was like dented in right there. I'm like, wow. So I was like, yo, you're damaging my car. And he's like, he didn't hear me. I'm like, so I cut my cell phone camera on, and here's that video. So you watch, as I said, hey, you're damaging my vehicle. And then when I went to go and look underneath it, he's denying it the whole time. He's thinking like, well, probably it's a rental car. I'm like, no, this is my car. It's a brand new damn car. I put the first couple miles on this. This is my vehicle. And you couldn't deny it. It's right there where it is. So as I'm feeling underneath the car, it's like as he was getting it going, the plastic piece that's underneath my car, that was totally detached. And I saw my headlights bulging as he's trying to get off the flatbed. So he's like hurrying up. Like when I confronted him, he goes back and hurries up like with the cranks and just drops my vehicle. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, yo, you damaged my vehicle. You know, I'm expecting, you know, let me get your information. We're going to document this and you're going to take care of the damages. He says to me, he should have left my black ass on the side of the road. I was like, motherfucker, what? And so I'm not going to say a lot on video because I don't know, you know, but I was well prepared to protect myself. And so he goes and darts like to his driver's side. And, you know, I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that, you know, tow truck drivers have weapons and stuff like that. So I started getting myself ready for defense and take cover, whatever. But he speeds off. I've never seen a flatbed pickup truck pull off that goddamn fast. And I'm like, this motherfucker. And so I went ahead and immediately just called the police. I called 911. This is where I'm at. This is what just happened. You know, he fled the scene. But I felt really vulnerable because I was disabled. My vehicle was disabled, so I couldn't like, okay, I'm gonna go to another hotel for my safety, but it's like a small like country town, so I really didn't have too many options. So the officer gets there, and I'm like, yo, this is what happened. My vehicle was damaged. I put my police report number right there, made a report of it. And at that time, I called State Farm because it was their roadside service that came instead of the manufacturers. And I'm like, yo, tow truck driver damaged my vehicle and said he should have left my black ass on the side of the road. So of course, the people who answer the phone, it's not their fault, but they apologize. But I'm like, I'm beyond apologies. Like, I want some fucking justice. I want my vehicle paid for, and I want compensation for this unpleasant experience. This ain't make no damn sense. I don't pay y'all for this. So the next day, I had another tow truck company come out because I'm like, I still have to get out of Wyoming. So the next day, it worked out perfectly fine. That tow truck driver, his name was Lucky. He was super cool, and I was laughing because I believe I was talking to somebody about Tupac, and I was like, it's ironic his name is Lucky, and that's what who Tupac played. His name was Lucky in Poetic Justice. I thought that was a coincidence, but he was super, super kind, super kind. Just you know, my last experience in Wyoming was him. Get back, so as I'm on the road trying to get to Seattle, and at that point I'm like, you know what, I'm not, because I had planned to, after I left Wyoming, to stop overnight in Idaho. I'm like, man, screw this, I'm going home. So I had like an 18-19 hour drive. I'm like, I'm sleeping in my bed at the conclusion of this day. But as I'm driving, you know how when you're driving and the wind is coming at your vehicle, and like that's what I can kind of put in motion, was that because it was loose, that plastic piece was loose under there, it just started like just taking up everything, and it was dragged because I heard some noise. Now I got to the rest stop in Yakima. I did that video about that nasty rest stop up in Yakima. So as I'm coming off of the hill at Yakima, it's like I'm dragging something underneath my car. So people at the rest stop are like, yo, yo, yo. And I get out and look, the freaking whole plastic piece is dragging on the ground, and it's been dragging for miles because it was like all worn off, you know, the friction done wore it off. But then also I was leaking fluids. And at that time, because it was dark, we couldn't tell what kind of fluid it was. But the family that helped me at Yakima was super kind. They were coming back from celebrating the 4th of July. So we took the shoestrings off of my shoes and his children's, you know, 4th of July beaded necklaces to tie that plastic piece to the frame of the car so that I could make it home. And I didn't know what fluid I was leaking. I'm like, will I break down? Is that... I'm thinking brake fluid, I don't know. I'm just like, just don't die. And so by the time I got home, I parked my vehicle in my parking space, and I went to bed, unloaded, went to bed, and when I woke up, it was a huge puddle underneath my car. So I'm like, okay, State Farm, give me y'all a call. Yo, y'all tow truck driver. So after being on the road, driving across country, but my last leg was 18 some hours. I'm like, yo, my car is damaged. I gotta go back to work. What are we gonna do about this? So they're bullshitting. They're like, okay, go ahead and take your car to the auto body I chose, and then go get a rental car. I'm paying for that rental car out of my own pocket, because here's the thing. When I got this car, I had another car, an old paid off beater car. So I'm like, if something happens to my car, you know, I got the beater car to drive. I just felt it was too much to have two vehicles, especially, you know, just leaving it in a parking space. So I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just, I gifted that car to someone else. And so I'm like, I got a brand new car anyway, you know, and it was just my reason behind it. So I'm thinking like, okay, I'll have my car back in like a week or so. But at that time, State Farm is like, well, you can go after the company that dispatches the roadside services called Agero. Dispatch through them, and they're gonna take care of the charge, or you go after them for the damages to your car. And I'm like, yeah, their tow truck driver damaged it. I recorded it. I made a police report. He said bad words to me. You know, I never damaged my car. Oh my gosh, it's like 2 weeks fucking later. I still have a rental car. My car hasn't been fixed, and I'm paying for this out of pocket. Before I just said, fuck it. State Farm fixed my car, but then this idiot, his name was something, this Agero worker, he's a bitch. He's a super duper bitch, and I can say that. I sent him the video. They watched my YouTube video. Everybody at State Farm watched my damn YouTube video and saw it right then and there. Damaging my fucking vehicle is on the back of the tow truck. This is not associated with our tow truck. What? Yeah, you have damage to the right side in this. I'm like, my vehicle was perfectly fucking fine before he fucking towed it. Oh, I was so pissed. I was like, make this make sense. And I still, like, coming back here was just, coming back to Washington was such, you know, bullshit. It was just so freaking terrible. But like I said, as a result, after that, that was $1,500 out of my pocket. It was like almost $1,000 for the rental car for like 3 fucking weeks. And then I had to pay the deductible for my vehicle that they did. And I'm like, wow, I'm about to cry right now. I'm like, wow, this is something. So instead of, like, you know, complaining to this, to higher ups in this, I say, you know what? Fuck this. Y'all are in business because of my money. I'm going to take my money from State Farm. You will lose my business. You have lost my business, because I've been with State Farm since I bought my house. I had life insurance with them, my renter's policy, also my freaking auto insurance for the 2 cars. They lost all that. And then I also got my bond through State Farm for my notary public service. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck y'all. Always the Friday, y'all lost my business. So like a fucking enemy, that's how State Farm screwed me over. They screwed me over, and that's how Agero helped State Farm lose my fucking business. So to hell with them, to hell with State Farm, and fuck anybody else that fuck people over. And that's why I have that spare tire in the back. I'm here at the house. Thank you so much for watching and hearing me go off about this situation. I'll turn off the windshield wipers now. And that's it. So next thing to do, I got to go buy a jack. So if something happens to any of these tires, I'm going to just take care of it my damn self and get on the road, be safe, get the fuck out of Washington, and never come back to the Pacific Northwest. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. Leave me a comment about your experience or anything like that. Let's talk. That's about it. You'll see this video once I get to where I'm going. And yeah, safe travels to everybody who else is on the road. Shout out to my truckers. My truckers gave me some great advice. Also, I worked with a gentleman who his part-time job was as a tow truck driver. And when I explained to him the situation, showed him the video, he said that was completely wrong what happened. And he even told me about the measures that he goes through to protect people's cars that results in him getting, you know, bonuses and tips. There's something about that. He was saying tow truck drivers get a bonus if, you know, once that follow-up call comes and you say you're completely happy, they get a bonus. So I hope that that stupid bastard Clyde Divine, I don't know why motherfuckers who have the most heavenly, most you know, godly last names be the most biggest fucking devils. Their names be Divine and Noble and shit. Fuck them. They're the most biggest devils out here. So, you know, don't let names trick you and fool you. You know, expect the devil, and if you get an angel, it's all good. But if you expect the devil and get a devil, ain't no surprises, and you ain't off your guard. Like, subscribe, share. See you in the next video.